Do you ever feel like life is just flying by, but you're really not in it? Almost like you're just acting out a role in a story written by another author. Do you ever feel like you're running, trying to meet deadlines, trying to meet everyone's needs, trying to fulfill your goals, but yet something still is missing? Well, in today's episode, episode 98, I want to talk about from fragmented to fulfilled, the power of presence. I'm Dr. Phyllis, and this is the Own Your Yes podcast. Wow. I just returned today before recording this from the hospital. I've been visiting the hospital over the past days for a family member that I'm providing caregiving support for. And as I was sitting today in their room, their hospital room, and I'd had multiple different conversations with the different doctors and letting them know what I've been observing, and I was sitting in the chair looking out the window, looking at the skyline, and it just was a very deep moment. And I realized so much has happened over the past, I would even say past 5 years. Past 5 years. 5 years ago, I was on a huge, I call it treadmill. And I used to just somewhat wear this, I can do it, I'm resilient, and I just wore it like a badge of honor. And it's like, throw it at me. The more I can do, I'll do it. And you've heard me say that, you know, trying to be the martyr is overrated and underappreciated and just not sustainable as well. But as I sat in that chair and I thought about how far I've come in those 5 years, where if I had been in this room 5 years ago, I would have just been bouncing all over the walls, trying to answer on-call questions for my own job and running and going back and forth and coming in and out and just energy plus, right? Just reacting all over the place. And I probably would have told you, "Oh, I got this. I've got it all compartmentalized. I'm here and I'm there." But the problem was when you try to be as I was, I thought, okay, I've got everything in a nice, neat box. So I'm here right now, fully my mind's here, but yet my mind's fully at work and my mind's fully with my family. That's the myth of compartmentalization. Because really what it becomes is it's fragmentation because you're so spread and split like I was, that that's where the autopilot where I was just numb. I was just numb going through, just reactive, responding, always, chasing crises. I would have been in that hospital room bouncing off the walls emotionally. But yet, here I was 5 years later, after going through my own transformation in my own mindset, my own ability to tap into what's truly important. And as I sat out looking in that out the window, I just I felt a peace because I was able to look out and just enjoy looking outside, not because life is all smooth, because it's been pretty crazy, yet because I valued the moment of A, being alive, being blessed with some skills and knowledge that can be of service to someone else, and also being able to celebrate the little wins, the little the speed bumps, the little battles that have been won, instead of just being on, as I said, that treadmill where I would not stop and celebrate of how far I've come or what's important, such as family, being of help, realizing that work is not everything. It is a means to an end, but not the end. That my identity is more than, for me, being a physician. Still a physician. No one can take that training away. No one can take those years of experience away. Yet I also can be Phyllis. I also can be the caregiver and also make sure I take a moment and appreciate the work that God is doing in me and to be able to embrace just the beauty of the skyline. And that was such a blessing because, as I said, 5 years ago, that would not have been true. um, that would not have been true. So I wanted to share that, sis, because I thought about you as I was sitting there, and I know you're like me. We have such big hearts. We want to help, and there's so many things we can do. We want to do it all to be of service. Yet we have to realize, and this is the point that I wanted to pass on to you as I was sitting there thinking about you, is the fact that present and being engaged in life is is how we experience the life we've been praying for. And the reason I say that is that joy, peace, fulfillment, too often, too often through our lives we have these narratives, right, of what success looks like. And as high achieving women, we're used to setting goals, and once you accomplish that goal, you're setting another goal. But very often we don't spend very much time really being present in the moment. Being present in the moment. And that's where, as I was saying, is that presence is so important. And furthermore, I want to clarify the point is I want to say that creating presence is the key to having joy. It's the key to having joy. It's the key to finding moments of peace. And really, at the core, is the fact that being present, which then leads to feeling of um, a feeling of fulfillment because achievements are fine and you can feel good about it. But as you know, that passes. That's fleeting. That good feeling, it passes. And if we're not careful, then we keep trying to look for the next achievement because we're trying to get that feeling. But the feeling of fulfillment and true inner personal accomplishment comes from being fully engaged in life, being able to feel like you're not just playing a role in a story or movie of your life, but you're actually an active participant because life can just turn into a blur if you don't do that. And then you look up one day, right? And you're like, "Oh my god, the kids have grown up. Oh my gosh, how many years have I been on the job?" Or or "Oh my gosh, I thought I would be doing this by now." Because you get into this rhythm of just going, going, going. I know because I would probably place first place as a human, as you hear me say, a human doing, but I had to get back to being human being and participating in life. And so, sis, being present in life is it's not something that means that you're being unproductive. It's so critical. Okay. But being present in life, being engaged in life, no one's going to give that to you. It's not some passive thing that just happens. You have to create the moments of presence. You have to actively give yourself permission. You actively have to say, I am going to take advantage of this moment. I'm going to hit the pause on the treadmill. Or if it means more a hamster wheel to you, whatever autopilot feels like to you, where you're just going, 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 or when you're feeling like you're just so pulled apart in different directions, like I said, that's fragmentation. That's really more the reality than compartmentalization. You end up fragmented because you're pulled so many directions. You don't know where you are, who you are, or you're just you're numb. So you have it's an active. It's an active. It's action. Presence is an action word. It's not something that just happens. And so you may ask, well, Dr. Phyllis, how do I do that when I'm running around? I'm doing my best, but how do I do that? I'm glad you asked because I want to share with you an approach that I use to help me when I'm in a situation and you feel like the spirit is pulling on you to say, "Hey, stop." So let me share that with you. And I'm going to give you an acronym as a way to remember it. And so it spells out SAVOR because I want you to savor life. I want you to savor the moments that you're going to create to fully be engaged in whatever situation you're in. You have to actively say, I am going to be present in this moment, not worrying about what else is going on, but in this moment to find the joy. So, this is how to stop, be present, and find joy in the moment. So the S is for slow down your thoughts. One of the things I tell myself is stop, my breathing, and the famous saying, be where my feet are. Because where I am right now, I can't control anything else that's going on somewhere else. I have to put that in the hands of the Lord. All I can control is where I am right now. So, where you are right now, even where you are right now listening to me or watching me, is where you're at. So, you worrying about what's going on somewhere else, or you trying to figure out how you can control what's going on somewhere, you can't. All you can do is be where you're at and control where you're at in the moment and put the rest of it in the hands of the Lord. So you have to slow your thoughts and focus on where you are right now and tell yourself, I am here right now. And center your thoughts to where you are right now. The A is acknowledge the moment. Ask yourself, where am I? What am I doing? What matters right now? So it really is making you in the moment, like what's most important that's going on in the moment. Don't brush past it. God is in the moment with you. So invite him in. Invite him in to say, Lord, I'm in this moment. I need you with me in this moment. Because presence allows us to connect with God, and he wants to connect with you so he can whisper to you. And that's where you hear lessons. That's where he's able to open your eyes and your ears, your mind to thoughts and lessons and enlightenments, the inspiration that he wants to give you. And discernment. That's where discernment lies. In that presence, in that stillness. The V is voice your desire. Say aloud in a prayer, I want more joy. I want to feel more alive. So in that moment, you got to claim it. You know, they used to always say, claim it. You got to claim it. If that's what you want to feel more alive, you want more joy, say it. Claim it. Say, this is what I want. Just like you set all those other goals in life, this is a goal you're setting, that you want to find more joy. You want to feel more alive and engaged in what's going on. The O is open yourself to the win. I am a big believer, WIN, that we have to celebrate the small wins, sis. We have to kind of rein our brain in and celebrate the little battles we've won, how far you've come, how you're responding to situations now, which are different than what you did before. For example, I didn't yell this time when the person pushed my buttons, or your kids pushed your buttons, or your spouse or your significant others or your other extended family pushed your buttons. You chose calm this time. You had a chance to stop, and you actually were able in that moment and focused on your child's laughter, your grandchild's laughter, listening to your significant other in the other room, listening to the birds. I love the sound of water. So focusing on listening to the sprinklers and the blessing of being able to do that. listening to the wind blow. Maybe as a child, there's certain sounds that take you back to a different time in life. For me, for example, I love feeling the wind blow and feel the air on my face because it makes me feel alive. I also like to listen to ocean sounds because when I have a chance to drive by the ocean and look at the vastness of the ocean, that I realize that the it makes me feel like the problems that I may be dealing with or the challenges are small in terms of that God is bigger because he created the oceans. He's bigger than that, and he has the power to help me get through them. It's a way to center. So, whatever sound that brings you joy, as I said, if it's your kids' laughter, another family member's laughter, if it's a certain song, if it's a feeling of nature, the wind, the rain, whatever it is to kind of bring you in and focus you that you know you are living. So always open yourself to the win. So, and the fact that you did it is the win. Congratulate yourself that you said, "Hey, I'm so present that I'm able to hear these other things that remind me I am alive, I am present, I am an active participant in my life." And the R is rejoice in it. Rejoice in the moment. Thank God for the moment. Let yourself smile that you're here and that you know God is able and he will help you get through whatever you're going through. And let that be enough. And presence in the small things turn into sacred times to connect with God, and they set the foundation for you to go even deeper and deeper in presence. So savor. So slow down your thoughts, acknowledge the moment, voice your desire, open yourself to the win, and rejoice in it. Presence is just so critical, sis, to help us feel alive and not feel that life is just passing us by. Because it's so easy to feel that way when we're in very busy lives. And I will be thinking about you as you over the week focus on being more present. And through being more present, that you will find more peace and more joy and see that you can feel fulfilled because being fulfilled has to come from within inside. And so over the next week, as you savor the moments, I want you to really ask yourself, I want you to do your own inventory this week of how are you feeling? Do you feel like you are an active participant in your life? What would make you feel like you were more engaged? Where are there possibly some moments you're missing that really, if you did take time to savor the moment, then you could find more peace and joy, which then would make you feel more fulfilled. That actually you're not just work, 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 or react, 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 that you're actually tapping in to who God has wired and created you to be. So I want you to look for that. The answers to those questions. I really encourage you to journal on them so that you can get it out. Get those thoughts out so you can look at them and read them, because that will continually lead to deeper and deeper growth. And if this week's episode has been a blessing to you, I would ask that you share. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And I would love to have you do a review of the podcast if you are watching me on YouTube, or if you're over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Amazon. I would love to hear your thoughts, or even a topic you'd like me to talk about. I love you. I will be continuing to pray for you. And I pray you have a blessed week, because I look forward every week to being here with you on the Own Your Yes podcast, because I want you to always remember it's never too late to own your yes. Bye now.